So welcome to the More Life podcast, and on episode 6 we have another guest, Scott McClure, entrepreneur that's went from making £800 a month door-to-door sales in a call centre to scaling a business to £120,000 a month. And in this podcast we're not just speaking about numbers, we're not just speaking about sales, we're speaking about mindset, behaviours, environment, all the things that you actually really do need to look into and consider when you do have big goals and you want to be successful.
Get your popcorn out and enjoy the fucking episode, cunts.
So Scott, tell the people, who are you?
It's a good question. I think a lot of people will probably know me for the brands that I've started rather than my personal brand as such, but one of the first brands that I started was when I was 18 called Allure Clothing. It's a clothing brand based on the law of attraction. Basically when I was younger I was massive on the law of attraction, more so when I was younger than right now, to be honest. I was mad over it and I just wanted to kind of spread the message of the law of attraction, and I felt like the only way to do that was actually through a clothing brand. Some other brands that I've started that you might know me from is a tanning brand called Rapid Tan. Started that when I was about 20. And from there, there was a period, obviously lockdown happened and basically, you know, sunbeds are shut. The clothing brand, we couldn't really sell anything because of lockdown. We couldn't get the stock from overseas to here, so we decided to start a cocktail company during lockdown, which was basically a cocktail to your door service called Canny Walktails. A lot of people might remember that rather than me because it went crazy in
That's
Scotland.
sick.
Don't know if did you ever see that?
I didn't know.
Walktails.
Canny Walktails is like you can't walk outside and shit. That's sick.
I'm
man.
kind of, I'm out of the drinking space, but
So am I now, to be fair. But back in the day, obviously,
Sick.
it was a good shout. And then from there, started to grow my personal brand, just because I'd started a consultancy, coaching company, basically helps people start their own e-commerce brands. And I've ran that up until October last year, and then I'm moving on to some new ventures. We can obviously dive into the reasons why and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're diving into some new ventures this year, which is helping creators launch products. I feel like I can definitely help that space. I've been working with a few creators recently to help them launch products to their audience. And I'm going to be launching my own brand again in the summer. And I'm not going to tell on the podcast what product yet because I'm going to be doing a series on my TikTok pretty soon. The first episode's going to be coming out. So we can definitely dive into that as well.
So see, when you say you help people build e-commerce brands, people might not know exactly what that is. Like, what kind of online businesses are you helping people build?
Yeah, so it's physical products and it's all online based. It's brands. It's not like dropshipping. It's not like Amazon where you're selling other people's products. You're actually, you know, solving a problem and building a brand. But like Gymshark, Udi, if you've ever heard of that brand, like, yeah, things like that.
That's sick, bro. So actual, real kind of actionable things that people can sell and give value to the audience.
That's it. Like, the way I see it, dropshipping is for wages, right? You can make money through dropshipping, selling other people's products, but if you want to build something that's sellable, that becomes an asset, then you need to build a brand.
Sick.
Because Gymshark's just t-shirts, right? But the brand is what is the asset. That's what's worth $1 billion.
Yep.
It's the name.
Yeah.
That's what you want to build over time.
There's more of a kind of culture around that as well.
Yeah.
So when you say you were kind of into drinking, right? Like, obviously me and Jack, we're not drinkers at all.
Yeah.
One question I wanted to ask you was, when you were drinking, like, could you give me a good logical reason to why you would drink?
That's a good question. It was probably confidence. So when I was younger, I remember the first time I ever drank. It was a wee bit later than most of my friends, but at the same time, I was still probably like 14 or 15. Mm-hmm. So it was still underage.
Yeah.
And the first party that I ever drank at, I must have got with a few girls, right? And that told me that I had to drink in order to become a certain person. And then over time, people started to actually like the person that drank, took drugs, and done all that kind of stuff, because I was a different person. I was more outgoing. I'm quite introverted, but when I was on the drink, I was a totally different person. I would, you know, do daft stuff and people like that person. So I think like the logical reason would be that it just made me become more confident.
Yeah.
It was an easy escape rather than working on my confidence the proper way and getting into conversations, doing things like this. It was like, cool, I can drink a few dragon soups and then I just automatically become, you know, confident. I can talk to girls, I can do all this.
Yeah.
So that's where it started probably. And I enjoyed it at first because of that, but it obviously didn't become enjoyable over time.
So the kind of liquid courage aspect of it was your main reason. Escapism, try to kind of escape the sober mind that you had, and
The
obviously
lack of confidence.
yeah, lack of confidence. But it's that liquid courage that a lot of people, that is genuinely probably the biggest reason people drink. And you spoke about why you continue to drink. So it was the way other people perceived you. That's what caused you to keep drinking.
Yep, and then over time it became my identity, and that's when you know how that goes. If it's your identity, it's hard to give up something. So for example, when I had the clothing brand, it was obviously doing well. It was on the side of selling windows at the time, and what was I going to say there? Just totally left my mind.
Yeah.
Well,
So it
what was the
became your
question?
identity to drink.
Yeah. Sorry, man, that's just
That's
left
right.
me there.
So again,
Wow.
to touch on the identity thing though, right? And obviously when we're speaking about other people's perception of you and that's why you drank, that's your environment, isn't it? So
Yeah.
like speak a little bit more about that at the like was it purely environment, or did you like being the guy that drank? Because there's a lot of people that watch this that are on that weekly drinking binge, right? And you're not like that anymore, and that's what we're going to speak about in a wee second. But again, what like environment, was that the main reason then that you drank on a weekly basis?
Yep, environment, identity, because I ended up becoming a DJ at one point. That was that just became who I was. So it was like I was trying to become sober while being a DJ, hanging about clubs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, when I was trying to get sober, I would be in clubs and bars, sober, and then I would tipple. Like, what the fuck? Why would you even try and get sober while you're out?
Yeah.
It was literally who I became. I was out every weekend, and there was a point where I wasn't even working. So I was living off my savings, and all I was doing was partying. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm actually going to see my true potential here. I started to get really worried because before I started drinking, I was an entrepreneur. So it wasn't like I escaped drinking and then became an entrepreneur. I was one to a certain extent. I didn't think I was going to get that life back. I honestly didn't, and that's what was the scary thing. My money was depleting in my account, so I saved up like about £23,000 for chapping doors, and thought I was 10 men, obviously going out drinking and that. Well, basically what actually had happened was I fell out with my friend that I chapped doors with, and instead of reacting in a way that you should, where it's roll up the sleeves, I probably rolled up the sleeves for maybe like 2 weeks, and then I fell out with my girlfriend. So I'd fell out with two people that were actually good influences on me. I'll be totally truthful. Then went back into the crowd that I went to school with, but I don't want to say that they were the ones that led me down that path, because I was leading them down that path as well. I'm texting them to come out. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if
100%.
it's like them influencing me. It's me influencing them at the same time.
100%.
We're all doing it and the same things together.
When you were drinking weekly, was there something in you that knew that wasn't kind of who you wanted to be? Like, was there always that, or were you just in it?
Oh, big time. I did not want to be that person. Every time
Right.
I got home on a Sunday or a Monday, I would probably felt worse. Obviously, you feel bad anyway because you've been out all weekend, but I was so hard on myself, man. It was horrible. It was horrible times, man.
Why did you keep doing it then? Do you know, reflecting back?
I really just didn't know the first step. I didn't know what to do. I did want it, but maybe not enough, possibly. I don't know. It was, yeah, I just remember the time that I did decide to stop, and obviously I've been sober now for almost 3 years. The time that I did decide to stop, I'm trying to think. It's just totally left my mind again. Sorry, lads.
And that's it. So again, another thing I was going to say was, like, when you're in this weekly drinking, right? The vision you had of your future probably was quite limited because of what you were doing on a weekly basis. See, when you had that switch, that mindset switch where you stopped drinking and stuff like that, obviously your vision is your ability to foresee future possibilities and like see what your goals are going to be in the future. When did you have that vision shift? Like, when was it? Because people drinking a weekly might not see past weekly drinking, whereas now you're looking at what, multi-millionaire, like that's the kind of stats you want to reach. So when did you have that mindset shift?
Yeah, so it was round about when I got sober, which was around 3 years ago. I had just quit my job. So I'd quit my job. The brands were doing really well. We were doing around like 30 grand a month, and I thought, right, cool, let's quit the sales job. But when we quit the sales job, we just moved into a new office, and from there we decided to go out and drink that day because it was this big fucking celebration kind of thing. And the problem with me is when I pick up that first drink, that's me. I'm out for, you know, a couple of days. That's just how I've always done it.
Yep.
If I was a young boy, I didn't know when to go home. I didn't really want to go home. I didn't want to face reality, face the decision that I'd made. I didn't want to face the fact that I've just decided to go out all weekend. Yep. So as soon as I got past the hours that becomes, you know, stupid in a sense, I didn't want to face that person that made that decision.
So you just kept going.
Just kept going. I was always the last one in every single party. I took everything to the extreme. Honestly, like, people that went out with me on nights out, they will see where I've got to and they'll be like, how the fuck did this person get to where he is? And even although I'm not sitting here saying I'm, you know, a millionaire or anything like that, but I'm certainly in a really good position. And that person, like, there'll be people that shared parties with me and they'll be like, how the fuck has he got here?
Talking like that now, and it's mad.
That's speaking and genuinely just, it's a total switch. Like my Instagram itself, this is one thing I would say to any young person watching this. If you're in a rut, and the quickest way to change your identity these days is actually by changing your social media. So for example, my social media, my highlights used to be illegal raves, used to be partying, used to be DJing, me with a bottle of Buckfast or whatever. Fast forward 3 years, like that's no my Instagram. You go on my Instagram, you would never even think that I was that person because it get fucking removed. Trust me, man. Yep. And I done a talk with some young people that had basically had drinking problems and stuff like that. That was the first thing I said to the guy. I pulled up his Instagram. It was him. Only one photo on his account. Still about a Buckfast. I was like, you're still identifying as that person. I was like, you need to, in order to start identifying as this new person, you need to, first thing I would do, change your Instagram. Yeah. Become that person through, because that's a way in which people express themselves now.
100%. And
you might not be that person on day one, but you can certainly start to become the person day by day.
And again, for people watching, a couple of things one thing to ask yourself is, if you're drinking on a weekly basis, are you trying to escape something like Scott was? Or like, is it something that you're trying to escape by doing that? Also, if you're someone that's drinking on a weekly basis, lost what I was going to say.
It's interesting though, because one thing I wanted to say that you just kept talking, you cunt. So I'm glad I remembered it. A lot of why people never get that switch into becoming an entrepreneur or taking more control of their life is because a lack of self-awareness, a lack of perspective. But you always had that entrepreneurial mindset, like through before drinking, during drinking, and after. So you're kind of different.
Yeah. So, for example, I moved to Croatia it was over a year ago. I was there for almost a year. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I done it. An environmental shift, and then also, when you move, and put it this way, you don't need to move country. I'm not saying if you want to change your environment, you need to change the country that you live in. That's obviously one way to do it. But you can move city. You can move out your parents' house. That is changing your environment. Mm-hmm. Your room is your environment. So what's up on your wall? What posters are on your wall? Like, that is your environment. What products do you have in your room? This is your environment. And that's the things that you need to change. So for example, when I done sales, I had a whiteboard in my room. By the way, I didn't have a TV in my room. Nothing like that. I've got I don't have it anymore, but when I done sales, I'd have a whiteboard in my room. It was a massive whiteboard. And it would just have all my sales results on it, tracking every single thing. And it's like, cool, what the other people have in their rooms, man? Probably like fucking their drinks sitting beside their beds. They've got no productivity tools or whatever. So that's probably, one thing you would look at is, first of all, start with your room, change that, make that an environment that you can thrive in, because you're in it a lot of the time. And another thing is that I never have my phone in my room either. Now, phone addiction, that is a massive thing that we could probably speak about, because it's hard for entrepreneurs to actually not be addicted to their phones because they make money on it. Mm-hmm. So for example, I've seen videos on YouTube that tell you, right, cool, just make your screen black and white. Like, who's actually going to do those things? So I was like sitting there like, how do I get rid of this addiction while still making the money that I make? And I actually took this for Alex Hormozy. So he talks about when you want to change your habits, if you want to basically get rid of a bad habit, you want to add friction. So you want to add friction, you want to make it harder to actually do the thing. So phones obviously are in our pockets, right? That's the least amount of friction to get to your phone. You literally lift out. So for me, I bought this £35 thing on Amazon. It's basically like a lockbox that you put your phone in, but it's got a timer. So that's the good thing about it. If it was a code, you could fucking take it at any point. But I'll just set that for 24 hours if I don't want to go on my phone. Because this is the thing, like, I get the same thoughts as everybody else. Elon Musk has the same thoughts. He thinks that his business might fail. Do you know what I mean? It's just how we actually deal with those thoughts. And again, like, we want to make it easier for ourselves to not give into these bad habits.
Yep. So adding friction. And also important to know that, like, if you're trying to get rid of a bad habit, adding friction, also replacing that bad habit with a slightly better habit, maybe, to slowly transition into not having it at all.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because at the same time, there was, it was Stephen Bartlett, Derva CEO. He spoke about his dad. Every time his dad got into his car to drive to work, down at the little fucking side of the door, there was a packet of fags. So he picked a packet of fags up, and it was a habit just to spark it on the way to work. So what he changed those packet of fags was a packet of lollipops. So every time he went in, he reached in, he got a fucking lollipop, sucked on the lollipop, other than toking a fucking fag.
Yeah.
And literally within a month, he'd stopped smoking completely. So it's like, obviously, yeah, adding friction, and then also looking to replace that bad habit with either a completely good habit or a better habit to slowly transition out of it.
Yeah, and when you're adopting a new habit, obviously that's change. And understanding that the hardest part about change is not doing the same things you've done yesterday is going to be uncomfortable, and expecting that uncomfortable feeling is going to allow you to prepare for it rather than just being fucked in the face by it being uncomfortable and then avoiding it. Do you know what I mean? To add as well, see, when you were drinking and going out and stuff like that, there definitely was times in your life where you were happy with doing that. Like, you were filled with fucking joy. You're like, I'm the fucking man.
100%. Yeah.
So a lot of people that are in that position right now, I feel like, are happy because of the perspective they have. I feel like they have limited perspective to go off. So, for example, someone's only ever had 3 girlfriends, and their third girlfriend, oh, she's the best girlfriend I've ever had. But you've only had 3. You could have had hundreds. So if you start to broaden your perspective and gain more self-awareness and gain perspective, you will then probably start to think, maybe I'm not happy. Maybe I'm only happy due to what I've actually experienced in life and the perspective I've got to go off. So when you start to add perspective, gain self-awareness, you're like, nah, fuck, I've got a lot more to achieve here. Like, it's obviously probably what you've done.
It's probably the only place that they are happy until they go home. Yeah. They need to face actual real life. They need to face work. They can't even have conversations because they're feeling anxious because they've been drinking. They don't even want to face reality. That's why they're happy.
When you were drinking on a weekly basis, I know we're speaking quite a lot about this, but it relates to quite a lot of things. You probably weren't living based on your purpose and like what you were here for and things like that. So see, when you like found your purpose, if I ask you the question, what is your purpose? What allowed you to break that cycle and go, right now, on a daily basis, I'm working towards this thing?
Yeah, I think my purpose is going to change over time. I think that my main purpose, I can't really fulfill it because I need to level up myself a little bit more, and that's helping others. Now, obviously, you can always help people because you're always one step ahead of someone. But in order for me to truly help the amount of people that I want to help, this is going to be probably my 30s, 40s, when I can actually truly fulfill that. Yep. But my main purpose right now is just doing hard things, showing people that someone from, the East End of Glasgow, went to school in Shettleston, can literally, do stuff that they could not even comprehend, because that's what I'm trying to prove to myself. I've always done hard things. So even before I went on that spell of drinking, I ran my first ever marathon when I was 17. And then 2 years after that, I ran 2 marathons in a week at 19. Not so much marathons, like, they are hard to do, but it's more so the age I was at. Like, that's what I was just like, always, people are like, why are you even doing a marathon? That's fucking crazy. And it's just like, that's when I feel normal. See, when I finish something like that and I've done something that it's fucking no many people would do, that fills me with happiness. That fills me with joy.
So it was a 4-hour marathon as well. That's pretty fucking quick, bro.
Yeah, it was funny, man. So the 4 hours and 5 minutes, see the time that I done it a week apart, identical times. And I didn't even have a watch, so it was just by chance. Insane, and that's crazy. So 4 hours and 5 minutes was my time.
Each time? Fuck off.
Each time.
To the minute?
To the minute. Seconds with it.
Jeez, that's actually fucking crazy.
See, when you're saying about coming from the East End of Glasgow though, right? you've obviously been surrounded by people with limited beliefs, like a belief system that limits them heavily, right? I feel like there's not really such things as limiting beliefs. It's more so your belief system and what you're exposed to will limit what you can see in your vision.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that? Because obviously we all have it, but how did you actually get past that?
That is a good question. It's really difficult, and I don't want to like kind of shit on people because, you know, it's just the way people have been brought up. Like even like most of my friend groups, so I've been on holiday like 3 times with, you know, a lot of, you know, friend groups, and I don't speak to them anymore. So in all honesty, I think that, and it's not like I don't like them, it's nothing like that. If I met them, man, I'd be like, all right, what's happening? I've not seen you in a while. But it's more so that in order to get away from that, you do need to seclude yourself. You need to go and try and find new friends. And that's what I've started to do. Almost the last 2 years, I've been doing it really well, is going and joining communities where there's people like-minded. Communities is the first place I would go. Now, there's millions of online communities. You don't even need to, you know, do it in person. But for me, likewise, we're meeting you two today. That's a, you know, a relationship that we can start building. Likewise,
100%, bro.
like, you know, reach out to somebody on social media. People think that that's weird, but it's not. No, if you're like-minded.
No.
I wouldn't reach out to someone that's like miles ahead of you, but I would reach out to people on the same level. Because
you can relate to, yeah.
Yeah. I've got a guy, Dustin, who, and do you know something, actually, like, a lot of the people that hang around with is actually my colleagues, the people that work for me.
Sick.
Because they're so like-minded as well. They're more entrepreneurs. Like, everybody that works in my companies, like, they don't see themselves as working a job, like, ever.
That's class.
They just see themselves as, like, an entrepreneur, I would
Part
call
of
it.
the team.
Part of the team. So...
Sick. See, entrepreneur is quite I would say an unspokenly described term. I feel like a lot of people label themselves entrepreneurs when they're not.
Yeah.
Like I say I'm an entrepreneur, but I've started to quickly realise that I'm actually just a highly paid employee at the moment because as soon as I can then be hands off my business, that's when I'm an entrepreneur. I've had a thought, I've made it come to fruition, and then I can be hands off and it still makes me money. So I'm a highly paid employee. I'm not afraid to fucking say that because in the next year or two, I will be a fully fledged entrepreneur. When did you go from a highly paid employee to an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so I was highly paid in a sales job. I was making like 1,000 to 2,000 a week. It was commission only though, so you could say it was high paid, or was I just going out and making good money?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, towards the end, they offered me a basic. They started to offer me stuff because I was in the kind of middle of leaving, and they probably just wanted to keep a hold of me at that point.
Yep.
But it got to the point where they'd offered me that amount of stuff. How many meetings did we have where I'm like, this is the time I need to leave now? Where they were like, cool, I think it's time that you actually do leave. So then, you know, my e-commerce businesses at the time were making about 30 grand a month. And I could have left a bit sooner. My business partner, he left his job. Because I was making so much money, and not only that, like the culture in this place, it doesn't feel like a 9-to-5. When you work a sales job, obviously I done door canvassing as well, which was door-to-door sales. You don't have someone breathing down your neck. You're basically running your own business within a business. That's what it feels like. So, for example, when I used to do, you know, door-to-door, we never get told where to chat. We never get told what time to start. We never get told what time to finish. We didn't get told that we need to work weekends. We just gave a pay deal. This is how much you can earn. This is how many leads. If you get this amount of leads, this is how much you make. And we would go out and run our own business. We would go on Google Earth, go and look on maps to where we're going to chat for the week, pick that out on a Sunday, we'd have the full week mapped out, and then we would be chatting doors for sometimes, I would say, as early as 10 in the morning up to 8:30 in an evening. And we would do that. And most weekends we would work as well. And that was actually one of my friends, Connor, at the time. He was like-minded, and I know you had said, like, how did you kind of escape that? I've managed to find at least one person along the way. Sometimes, man, to make myself not feel crazy. Mm-hmm. He was that person back in the day. It was both of us together, chapping doors. And honestly, man, I'll cherish those days. You always speak about that's the good old days. See, even like the hard times, if anybody's going through hard times in business, just remember that you will refer to those days as the good old days soon. And that's what it was like, chapping doors. I'll never go back to chapping doors, but like I'll always talk about it because I loved I don't want to say I loved every minute of it because that's a lie, but like I thoroughly enjoyed doing that.
You have deep gratitude looking back, knowing that is what developed you into who you are now as well.
Yeah, especially because I'm an introvert. So that friend Connor was talking about, he's an extrovert. Chatting doors to him is like, you know, second nature. But for me, getting out that car, the first day, I remember.
Shaking.
I was shaking like a leaf, mate. I did not want to go and chat the door, but I knew on the other side of that was the person who I wanted to become. Best way to describe an introvert is that we start our day with 5 coins. And every, you know, conversation that we have, social interaction, if we go to a party, it takes a coin away from us. So we end the day depleted after conversations. It's not to say that we don't like having conversations, we enjoy it, but after it we feel fucking deflated. Whereas extroverts, they start the day with no coins. And in order for them to actually, you know, feel good, they need to have conversations. So like they end the day with coins after, you know, having conversations.
That's cool. Class analogy. See, when you were shaking like a leaf, and a lot of people watch this podcast because we made the purpose of it getting better, improving yourself, right? When you get out the car and you're shaking like a leaf, and you knew that between the person you wanted to be was having that uncomfortable scenario where you had to speak to people.
Yeah.
What did you use to still do the thing that was uncomfortable?
I think what pushed me to do it was just not becoming the person I wanted to become. I think it was the scary thought of, if I don't do this.
Yeah.
Like,
So the logic exceeded
I think
your
it's pain.
emotions.
Pain is the biggest motivator in change in someone.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not wanting to change, you're probably comfortable. I was not comfortable where I was, and there was no way I was going to let my friend go out and make £1,000 a week, and I was going to stay in a call centre getting £6 an hour. I wanted to see what I was capable of, and I mean, once I had done that, I know now when I get anxious to do stuff, it's fine, that's normal, we're all human beings. Like I said, like, we have the same thoughts as Elon Musk, it's just how he reacts to it. Like, to think that Elon Musk doesn't get thoughts where he's like, oh, have I made the right decision here? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
is this business going to fail? He thinks the same things as everybody. It's just how he actually reacts to it. And I think, like, a lot of young people think that these people on social media, these people that they look up to, like, they're not struggling anyway. Like, they have the same thoughts. It's just how they react to them. You might react differently. You might shy away. Like, for example, you know, this is crazy, but you'll always know someone that's like scared to phone a Chinese. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, you
like,
talk.
you talk, you do. I don't want to speak on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, it's because our minds are not built for the modern day.
Yeah.
Our minds were built when it was back in the day where you had to survive. So that's why people don't want to speak on the phone. So it's like, you just need to accept that our minds were not built to be entrepreneurs, to be succceul. It was just built to survive and reproduce. That's all we were literally built for.
Such a good point. Such a good
Talk
point.
about survival instinct all the time.
Yeah, and once you've done that uncomfortable thing once, like I said, the hardest part about change is doing something different as you did the day before. Once you've done it once, you can use that as a good indicator that you're doing something that's going to actually help you grow. So if you have that anxious feeling, if you have that nervous feeling, amazing, because then there's another opportunity to grow. But most people don't have that perspective. Most people have the, fuck that, I'm going this direction away from it. Do you know what I mean? So once you'd given yourself that little bit of evidence that was a situation that you know you can grow from, did you just start to identify things that were making you feel uncomfortable as something you could grow from? Is that what the perspective you started to do?
Yeah, that happened. So when I first started as a sales rep, so I don't know if I've ever told this story, but it actually took me 6 months to get my first sale. Most people, like, and I was commission only, so I didn't even make any money at that time. Well, most people would have just walked away. And honestly, man, it was confidence. Like, I ended up becoming, that exact same year, I ended up becoming the top sales rep, and I sold the most amount of windows out of everybody, even though I went 6 months without actually selling. And those first 6 months, I was just battling with it. I was getting into, honestly, I remember getting into someone's house and just bottling it, mate. Bottling it. And it's just, you know what I mean? I literally bottled it. I think my first ever lead, I was expecting maybe just me and 2 other people. The full family in the living room.
What happened? To speak
So I was going to ask you, what's the most awkward thing you've experienced?
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm here, I'm sorry.
So I've had probably more awkward leads, to be fair. But
Walk us through, bro, the whole fucking interaction, bro.
So obviously, first lead, you don't even want to go. You don't even want to go at the motor. You actually want to phone your boss and tell them that they're no in. That's kind of what's going through your mind. But you know, you just need to go in and do it.
How long were you sitting in the car looking at the house?
Good 15, 20 minutes, man. Honestly, man. And then I was like, cool. It's just it was what I got. You get sent a lead through text, and it was like, say, Mrs. Patterson. So I'm thinking this is just going to be a woman on her own, man. I'm visualising it, man. This is going to be fucking a canter. The missus was there with the son, the daughter, the fucking kids were on the couch, and I'm like, I need to pitch them for windows here. Everybody, mate, everybody, and they were all hitting me. And this is the thing, because I had no experience of what leads were like. I thought that all leads would be like this, but it ended up that was just happened that the first one was just mental, where they're all hitting us with like questions and all that right off the bat. Usually they just like, you just have a conversation, settle in. I'm like, fucking hell, here we go. Nah, man, I actually didn't get through my whole entire pitch, man. I ended up just 20 minutes in. Just
you walk in the front door, what happens next?
So
usually, do you knock the door, the answer? Like what?
So you knock the door. Obviously, once I go better, like you would knock the door.
Specifically, who? Mrs. Patterson, what did she say to you when she opened the door?
I can't, do you know what? I can't really remember, man. Just probably, hi, come on in, kind of thing.
And she just walked you into the living room full of the fucking family there.
That's it. That's what genuinely normally happens. It's just that I just could not deal with that situation.
And then how did you bottle it? What did you say to bottle it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's a long pitch, so usually you're in someone's house for like an hour to 2 hours. Whereas I just go through things a bit quicker than what you're meant to get myself out there. That's kind of what happened.
So when you bottled it, were you just like, sorry, I fucked this?
I gave them the price, but I didn't give them the option to buy, man. I was like, there's the price. He's like, oh, man, I'm out here. I just was never getting the sale. My confidence just was not there.
So, boy. So when you said you had confidence that you were going to become better and you ended up being, I would say that's more so certainty than confidence, because confidence comes and goes. It's more so certainty. Like if you're certain when you're saying things, if you say things with conviction and certainty, people believe you straight away. Like I had one of my boys saying, mate, every time you tell me something, I believe it straight away, because you always say something like you back everything you fucking say. And I said, I'm just going to start saying mad shit that's not even true, because you're going to fucking believe me. But see, when you say things with certainty and you have certainty in your vision, your goals, it will come true. So again, battling with the self-doubt and things like that, did you use certainty to get past that? See, when you had the days where you obviously thought it wasn't going to fucking happen.
So certainty usually comes from a result. Like you need to see the result.
Having evidence.
Yeah. Having evidence, basically, yeah. And I just remember when I got my first sale, the guy said to me at the end, I was packing up my window, he came out. You end up building a really good relationship. It's a bit like a podcast. You speak to them for a good 2 hours. Yes. Yeah, at the end of it, man, they absolutely love you. So guys walked me out to the car, put my window back in. He's like, by the way, you're the best salesman I've ever came across. And I was like, little do you know, mate, you're my first sale after 6 months. And I nearly never got you. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was just like, he does not even know what I've just been through the last 6 months. But I was like, I was spot on. I was brilliant. And then from there, it was like the certainty. Because in sales, like you need to transfer that certainty over to the other person.
Yeah, of course.
And it wasn't like I was no certain of what I was selling. It was just a confidence issue, man, that I had.
That's such a good point to make, though. See his perception of you. You're the best salesman I've ever had. I said, little does he know, it's the first sale you fucking made. So the perception you had of yourself was you kind of fucking scraped by the last 6 months and nearly didn't get the sale you just got. Whereas he thinks you're the best fucking thing since sliced bread, bro. So it's mad that we'll sometimes ruin and self-sabotage based on the perception of ourselves. You need to think about the image you're giving out to other people. People think you're smashing it, so act accordingly with how people perceive you as well. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah. It's cool that perception is reality as well, because you're going in there, not had a fucking sale yet, and he's like analysed you, listen to you talk this whole fucking pitch, and he's like, fucking god, this guy's fucking good. He just sold me windows. So the perception that you built in his head became the reality of you being the best a really good salesman. It's had no fucking sales yet. It reminds me of the story of the bamboo stick, the bamboo or whatever the fuck it is, where it like grows for fucking weeks or months underground, and as soon as it hits the surface, like it grows like fucking 5 times what it did underground in like a fraction of the time. And it's kind of what happened with you, kind of thing, where you've compounded those efforts to develop yourself as a salesman, and then you've reached the surface and you've just sprouted as fucking quickly as you did to become the top salesman in your fucking department.
Yeah.
Perception is reality is fucking so powerful, because again, when you said the first thing to do to change your identity would be change your Instagram, that's how people perceive you, right? And it's so powerful because a lot of people, and people listen to this right now, you might not think it's possible to reevaluate yourself, and it's something we spoke about in this podcast before. And it is as simple as just changing how people perceive you by what you put out and the image you give to other people, and then the reality of who you are in their eyes and who you can be in life completely changes for what you want it to be. It's very possible. Scott's done it. Used to be a weekly drinker, no real purpose. Now he's on his purpose, has fucking huge goals. So take some inspiration.
$30K a month, bro.
Yeah. So it's probably the fucking lower figures that you're seeing now. So I want to add as well, when you started doing the things you didn't want to do, the things you didn't want to do became something that you didn't really consider not wanting to do. You just done them because you knew that it was a necessary thing to do. There's a cortex part in our brain called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, and it genuinely drives the will to live. I saw a podcast with Andrew Huberman and David Goggins.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and basically, the more you do things you don't want to do, the bigger this anterior mid-cingulate cortex grows. So it's crazy that the snowball effect of the more you do it, the more consistently, the bigger the snowball gets, and the fucking more momentum you get towards doing things you don't want to do, and then consequently you become the fucking person you're trying to become. It's fucking crazy, man.
And with you being sales orientated, right? Obviously, you're helping people sell so many things. So you might have this shiny object, and you'll have so many shiny objects around you. But how important is it to focus on one thing?
So it's, for anybody listening, like, just focus on one thing. It's as simple as that. It's a must. Now, over the years, I have definitely suffered for that shiny object, and I think that a lot of entrepreneurs do that. But certainly me, like, I hold my hands up. I think the first step was always being aware of yourself, self-aware. And I became self-aware, and I realised, and I even said this to the business partner at the time, I was like, we're sitting with 2 brands in the one office, split. This is a split focus. And the reason why we're doing okay, because we're doing okay with both. Both are making really good money. But what's the reason why we're not actually hitting the numbers we actually want to hit? It's because we're splitting our time and our focus. And at that time, we weren't even leveraging, staff or anything like that. We had, a couple of staff, but not to the point where we were really giving up away jobs. There was days where I was packing the orders for a few hours, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, and it's something that any time that I've ever, so for example, a year and a half ago when that kind of business tragedy happened, I finally had one thing to focus on. And I literally had no money. Like, I genuinely had no fucking money. In fact, I did have a few £1,000 saved up, but I had to spend it on something. I think it was like my car or something like that just totally wiped me out. And what was the time frame? Probably like, so it happened in July, and then October I was in Croatia. That's how quickly, just by focusing on one thing. I didn't have any other businesses. I just focused on that, managed to grow it to a point where I was able to move me and my girlfriend and 2 of my team members. 2 of my team came over to Croatia, and we're working from the same house.
That's amazing.
Just from that thing, focus on one thing. And listen, to this day, you've heard me saying I've got this idea for a new business and stuff like that. Realistically, if I'm going to be totally honest with myself, should I be doing that? Nah, I shouldn't be.
It's a shiny object.
It's a constant fight. And do you know something? See, this is what you don't want to do. Don't name the company. Name it. See, when you start getting it a name and then you get the logo made, you start to fall in love with it, man, and you don't want to give up. So yeah. I feel like I'm sitting here with 2 opportunities, and probably both of them could work. But both of them, well, one of them is working, but the other one I've not even started yet, probably could work. But I'm like fighting with myself to, should I do it, should I not? But
if you can outsource and obviously delegate everything you need to do for your other business, I don't see the issue.
The issue, so that's a good point. That's what I actually got really good at over the last 2 years, is actually hiring. So like my e-commerce businesses, we were hiring family and stuff like that, whereas over the last year, at peak, Ecademy had 18 people. We're actually down to 5 now because we've kind of rebranded and stuff like that. But at its peak, we had 18 people. And I think like the reason why it becomes a problem isn't because I can leverage other people's time. It's actually the stress that comes from it. So you're getting double the headaches. And everybody likes to think that, for what they see in social media, that running a business is like amazing. Like, trust me, man, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to start a business, it's going to be one of the hardest things you ever do. And if it's no hard, it's because you're not running a business at that point. Like, it's probably just at its infancy and you're maybe just, self-employed. If you're running a business, man, you're literally managing loads of people. What happens when Sarah needs to go off ill because she's got mental health issues? You take on her mental health issues and you start to worry for her. And maybe like 3 people end up deciding to go on holiday in the 1 month, and you're sat there like, what the fuck am I going to do? I need to jump in and sell again. I need to jump in and, book appointments or whatever. Nobody actually tells people what business is actually like. And I think that in my content now, that is kind of what I'm trying to, push out there. I don't want to put people down and say that it's not a good idea to start, but you want to be authentic and actually show them, look, this isn't what everybody makes it out to be. It's actually harder than what you think.
You just see the end result, the kind of end products of having a nice little watch, car, life.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't see the hardship, man.
Just a question about the shiny object syndrome, because I've had that, right? A lot, and me and Jack have got fucking something to pitch to you after this podcast, right? But again, shiny object, in your opinion, does it come from like a lack of certainty with what that one thing is you're doing right now, the self-doubt, or does it come from a desire to get more and try and branch out? And like, what do you think it comes from? Because I personally struggled with what is it like, but what do you think it is? I
know sometimes it can be a lack of certainty. I think for most people it would be. I was actually thinking about this the other day because it made me question, am I actually like no certain in what I'm doing now? Yeah. But I think it's more so the idea. So obviously the idea is going to come out in a few weeks, and I'm just like, do you know that way where before I started entrepreneurship, I didn't know what a good idea was. Started a clothing brand, one of the most saturated things. But see, once you actually have the ability to see a gap in the market, you want to go and do that thing.
Yep.
And then you know, as I said, you name the thing, you get a logo. Yeah. Before you know it, man, you've made a wee Instagram for it, and you know what to give that up, man. Yeah. And I don't suffer with procrastination at all. I always like do what I say I'm going to do. Something I've always been like. And that's a problem with shiny object syndrome, because if you've got shiny object syndrome, you've got loads of these things that you want to do, but you don't suffer with procrastination. You're just going to do them all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to start saying no more. So I've tried my best to start saying no, but it goes to all parts of your life. So for example, I want to start Muay Thai, then I want to start playing football again, then I want to start running. So it's not just in business. It's easier in your mind to start things in it. So I'm like, oh, we'll start this business. It's easier in your mind. You don't realise it's called uninformed optimism. You think it's going to be sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Till you try and do all the things at once, and you're like, fuck, this was just made up in my mind here.
A consistent focus is key. And like you said, if we're even relating this to the gym, to put this out there as people at the moment, you're a high rocks athlete one week, you're a bodybuilder the next, you're a powerlifter the next, and you don't have the body you want, you've not achieved the goals you want because there's no consistency in the focus that you've got. So yeah, that's 100% a fucking good point, man.
Can we run through as well quickly? See, when you said uninformed optimism, does that come from the little concept that starts uninformed pessimism, informed pessimism, uninformed is that the Alex Hormozi thing you were talking about?
Yeah, that's who I've definitely heard it from, and it's more or less where
it's almost like a cycle of awareness, like going to and from, like being so uninformed and actually pessimistic, becoming informed as to why you're pessimistic, and then starting to be do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the good thing about uninformed optimism is it allows you to get started. Because if you knew how hard it was going to be,
you wouldn't start.
If you could literally, see what your life was going to be like after starting this business, you'd be like, fuck, that's going to happen, man. Don't know if I'm going to actually go for this now. Whereas the uninformed optimism, you thinking, you're phoning your mate saying, here mate, I've got the best idea ever, this is going to work, we're going to do this, make all this money. 30 days in, you've not made any money yet, and you're like, fuck, this is hard. Yep. Don't get me wrong, the idea's probably still good, but you've not made money because it's that uninformed optimism. You think everything's going to be sweet.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not.
What you said also, it's cool to note that the challenges or objections you'll need to handle 60 days in isn't something you would ever be able to fathom or be able to handle day one. So it's cool to know that as you develop, you actually just will be able to handle the objections that come your way. So that you're saying, if you can look into the future before you start the business and see this problem's going to happen, that problem's going to happen, where you are with the perspective you've got now, you're like, nah, fuck this. But when it gets to actually handling it, you've developed enough self-development, you've developed enough confidence and perspective and awareness in that field to then handle that objection. So it's quite cool to know that people that want to be a millionaire, you don't need to know how to be a millionaire. You just need to know how to make 1 to 5K a month, and then 5 to 10, and then 10 to 20, and then scale. And it's cool that you said at the very start, you started this brand, that brand, this brand. It's so cool that business principles align with every business you can possibly create. It's just about applying those principles and being consistent and persistent with it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the next goal, is to stay persistent with the companies that I start. I think obviously like the first two was obviously there's nothing I can do there. Do you know what I mean? I planned to have them for a long time, and then obviously that happened with the business partner and stuff like that. So that came to a halt. The second one, the Ecademy, I'm still running that at the moment. I've got 30 active clients, but I'm not taking on any more clients, and we're kind of moving on for that. But I'm like, I need to, put my energy into something, to build something, to sell it. Not so much I want to sell a business, it's I want to have the ability to sell it. I want to get a business valued. And then, everybody thinks that their business is their baby, but, after 5 years, sometimes it's time to kind of give it up. And sometimes this is what I've realised, I think I'm really good in startups. So there's certain type of entrepreneurs that, or CEOs, actually, I'll call it, more CEOs that take over for a business that is you know, already doing like $1 million a month, and they're good to get it from $1 million to 10 million. But for me, see, once I get it to a certain point, I might not be getting fulfillment with it anymore. Because it's the startup phase that I enjoy. See that hustle, not knowing if it's going to work or not. See, when something's proved and it's making money and everything's in place, all the operations are in place, at that point I don't really get the enjoyment. So I feel like at that point, that's maybe where I would look to, you know, sell something that I'd built.
Why do you want to sell? Like, why do you want to make fucking millions of pounds? Like, what's the reason?
So why do I want to make millions of pounds?
Yeah, what is it? Because obviously we're all striving to be fucking multi-millionaires. Like, I'm not going to say why we are, because it might be similar to you. So, like, why? Yeah,
so a lot of people look at me online and they'll think that I want to make loads of money, but it's not even about the money. If I was like younger, my fulfillment and approval for like older people in my life all came from achieving something. So like, for example, when I used to run and stuff like that, when I got a medal, well done. And that well done, like I craved that. That's what I crave to this day. That's why I love competing. Because I know if I compete, I get that approval. And when you're an introvert, you usually do stuff to get approval. You can't say stuff because you don't really talk. So it's not so much about the money for me, it's achieving something that is so difficult. See, if making money was easy, it would not be the thing I would be attracted to. It's the fact that it's so fucking hard that makes me keep on doing it. It's actually like the journey of getting there. If I won the lottery, I would get away, is basically what I'm saying. It's no so much about the money. Last year was probably the most money that I've ever had, around about the summertime, and it was the most stressful I've ever been. It doesn't. I'm not trying to say that it always correlates to being stressful, by the way, having lots of money. I don't want you to pick up the wrong lesson here. Like, sometimes it's amazing, but I mean, it's the game that I enjoy, and that's why I like entrepreneurship. So, for example, I was into football. If I wasn't that good, right? But if I was that good, your career finishes at 30. That's why you see a lot of athletes who are like-minded to entrepreneurs. They end up gambling. Their life goes to fuck. Yep. Whereas the good thing about entrepreneurship for me is that won't happen to me, because I can be running businesses till I'm fucking dead, basically.
Yep. It's crazy. Iman Gadzi himself says, once you reach the 10K to 20K mark, which me and Kel will hit this year, a month, you start to question whether the extra stress and responsibility is actually worth the lifestyle inflation or the lifestyle kind of jump, because 10 to 20K a month, you can finance whatever car you really want, to be honest. You can have a nice car, house, whatever the fuck, start to look to invest in certain things, etc., compound over the next 5-10 years. You probably will make millions of pounds just from that monthly revenue. So is the extra stress and responsibility worth the 50, 100 million a month? And for a lot of people, it won't be. But for me, I've not really questioned that too much in my head. Have you? Have you thought about that? Have you thought?
Yeah.
Because I know you've surpassed 10 to 20.
So honestly, it's a really good question, mate. Fucking class question. I get those thoughts a lot. Should I just fucking pack this in? But like, I'll always keep on going. And like I said, like, everybody gets those thoughts, because sometimes it's how we're feeling in that moment. We'll pass through that feeling and we'll realise why we're actually doing it. And that's why it needs to be stronger than money. Because if it was just money, then I probably would just give into those thoughts that I get on, sometimes can be daily, weekly basis, man. Like, you're literally got the thoughts the other day, man, like, oh, this is getting tough to, you know, sign these creators, man. Why am I even going for this goal of doing this? These people are harder to sign up. And then, you know, just because of how I was feeling that night, then it goes away. Survival
instinct almost kicking in, isn't it? That emotional reaction to avoid stress, avoid danger. It's fucking mental. Yeah. But the awareness is fucking sick that you've got, and we're all really, really self-aware, and I think that's why we're having a conversation. We're all coming from very similar perspectives. It doesn't matter how successful you are, we're just all really aware. How have you become so self-aware?
I think the first step in being self-aware is actually understanding what you're not good at first. Honestly, man, everybody has an ego, right? But if I was to compare myself to other people, I would say I've got less of an ego. A lot of the people that I've maybe came across in business, I've been more aware of them than they are of themselves, and I'm looking at them thinking, the fact that you've got this large ego is the exact same reason why I'm going to surpass you, and you're just going to think that you know everything. See, as soon as you feel like you know everything, that's the moment you know absolutely fuck all. You know nothing. And I think that I knew if I wanted to, get to where I want to be, I need to constantly, feel like I don't know. And I think I'm just constantly in this, just trying to pick up what I need to know in order to get to the kind of next steps.
And by doing that, you reflect, ask yourself questions, and it is just as simple as that, like looking at yourself and taking an honest, open approach, taking ownership. That is, would you say that's...
Yeah, put the ego to the side and be truthful with yourself.
I was going to say though, I'd probably disagree from what I've seen of you and spoke to you about so far, that you don't have a smaller ego than everyone else. You maybe just don't act with your ego as much as other people, because when you talk about that sense of achievement and looking for that approval or that kind of praise from other people and striving to push through hardship to get that sense of achievement, that's a very ego-based decision to make. But it might not just be perceived to other people as that because it's not something you portray to people. You're a very humble acting. You act with a lot of humility. You seem very genuine and transparent. So you don't feel like you need to put on that fucking brave face, that ego.
Good point.
I would probably go as far as to say that you might even have a bigger ego than most people. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point, man. Yeah. That's a good perspective, actually. Nah, definitely.
You have to, with the goals that you've got, you fucking have to. But there's two sides to ego. So we spoke to Nico, right, and I asked him a question about ego, but his perspective was ego is like someone being egotistical, like thinking they're better than everyone, right?
Okay.
But I look at ego more so that you've had trauma that's created a cut. The ego creates a scar, and then your ego then protects you going forward in life. So we've came from not a lot of money. So it's your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So we've came from not a lot of money, for example. So when we spend money, our ego says, fuck, don't spend that because you might not get it back because we've been in a position where we've not had it. So have you had that side of your ego kick in before? And how have you become aware of it and handled that?
I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure how to answer that, to be honest.
Because you come from East End of Glasgow, like surely those limiting beliefs, that's your ego, isn't it? It's protecting you. Like, oh, don't do that. That's quite, you might not get it. So
I think that's how I stand out. In terms of limiting beliefs, I was actually, I journal, not every day. I'm not going to say that I do it every day. But I've managed to do it the last 3 nights. And one of the things that I had wrote was that I'd noticed about myself, because this is, if you be self-aware, it's good to journal, to actually reflect.
You need to.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm almost sort of delusional at times. Like I genuinely, this is the only way to describe it. You feel as if you can do anything you set your mind to, but you've got this insecurity that you might never ever achieve it. And that's what drives me to do what I do every day. So in terms of limiting beliefs, I'm not going to sit here and say that I don't have any. But in comparison to a lot of people, like I genuinely believe. So for example, I've just started running again. So like I said, I used to do running when I was younger. I've got this itch that I want to scratch. I want to get back into running and see if I can achieve what I achieve. Right? This is where the delusion comes in, the uninformed optimism. I go and watch a guy who's just run the fastest marathon under 4 hours, and I'm watching him thinking, could I do that? I need to believe that could I actually do that? No, to be honest, right, I fucking believe that I can. I actually believe. Like, I swear, it's weird. I actually believe that I can. But then some days, like I went to I joined a running club and I was coming in last every time. Obviously they've been doing it for fucking years. And I'm like, fuck man, I've got a long way to go here. So it's the uninformed optimism. But that first belief is what's getting me in the door. And I can't even explain it. I genuinely believe it's not even a fake certainty.
Yeah. Even the way you say it's weird though, it's like that is society making you say that word weird. Like, because like, to everyone else it's fucking weird, do you know what I mean? But even me and Jack sitting saying multimillionaires, there's people from where we fucking stay that we know have been like, fucking fannies, think they're going to do this, think they're going to do that. Like,
we made the Instagram Rich Twins just to have a more of a personal kind of branding that and see how, because our name's Richie. Rich Twins. But if you hear Rich Twins, it's like rich money. Hearing people saying they don't even have that much money yet.
They're not even making a lot of money. But it's crazy. So, but that's what I'm saying. Society tells you that
they'll make more than your dad, though.
Yeah, of course, mate, double. But the thing
maybe triple.
That societal fucking, that is weird shit. A lot of people watching this, again, you're influenced by what other people think, your environment. When we're growing up, you've not grown up with a lot of money. We've not grown up with a lot of money. We've pretty much looked at what we've came from and went the opposite fucking direction, right? So me and Jack grew up with drinking on a weekly basis, stressing over money. What are we doing now? We don't drink and we don't stress over money because we make good money. So you can either repeat your past or you can completely recreate it and fucking break the cycle of bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's what you clearly have done. And how early were you starting to think like that? Like how, if you can go back as soon as you can imagine, because me and Jack, we started that journey when we were like lockdown, probably 19 was when we started to solidify the Forex millionaires, and we started actually like networking with people that were making fucking thousands a month. What was the earliest point where you started to think that?
So it was a law of attraction stuff. So my friend...
Tell people what that is.
Yeah, so the law of attraction is basically that, you know, thoughts become things, that you manifest what you constantly think about. Now, you're never going to track your thoughts, are you? Because how many thoughts do you have in a day? Yeah. But what you can track is how you're feeling. So how you're feeling is basically your emotional guidance system. And every time you're feeling bad, you'll be attracting something that you do not want. Every time you're feeling good, you'll be attracting things that you do want. You don't really need to constantly, you know, write down what it is you want. Like, there's this thing called, I don't even know, I think it's the vortex, I'm going to say. It's been a while since I've read the books. But it basically knows what you want. Like, it's your subconscious, another word for your subconscious mind. Like, that knows what you truly want. You're in your mind all day, every day. That knows what you truly want. You tell it all the time. It's more so just believing in it. That's what speeds up the process. And a lot of people will tell me, like, oh, law of attraction is bullshit. To be honest, man, I've been in that mindset. Like, so I believed in it. It's a lot of bullshit. Back to believing it again. And it's what's kind of brought me back to it is that, is it better to believe in it or not to believe in it? Well, it's fucking better to believe in it, innit? Because look where it's got me, right? Even if it is fucking made up bullshit, I'm not going to say it is because I've not looked into it as much, but people could say that about religion. Do you know what I mean?
Rough.
And so it's like, there's this thing as well called the reticular activating system. So it's basically the focal point in your brain, and it shows you what you deem is important. Now, how does it decide what's important? What's what you focus on all the time? So someone who focuses on turning up late, just bad things happening all the time, problems. If they focus on problems, they're going to see more problems. Whereas people like ourselves will focus on things like money-making opportunities, and then you just see these opportunities coming out of nowhere. Were the opportunities always there? Of course they were. It's just that because you were focused on them, that they actually arrive. And it's a bit like the kind of red car analogy. You'll think about red cars when you go on the motorway, you're going to see, you know, the red cars. Were the red cars always there? They were always there. It's just because you're actually focused on them. So if you start focused on things that you want, you'll start to see more of it.
Earl Nightingale, have you heard of him?
I have.
American speaker in the 1950s. He genuinely has an exercise that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's all about setting 20 minutes aside a day to write down as many tasks or ideas as you can possibly think every day towards your business or achieving a set goal in your business or whatever, whether that's a financial goal or like a business task. And he says after a certain point, subconsciously, you'll be going throughout your day and these ideas will just start to ping up. And you obviously, if you're aware enough, you'll start to note them down. And the cool thing is that it is genuinely like an autonomous process after a certain point. I have notes of content ideas that I've got like 100 content ideas I'm not even done yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm going through it my day and like I've cemented subconsciously or consciously cemented so much about creating content and new ideas and business things that subconsciously it's starting to then now come through from the subconscious through to the conscious mind, which is crazy because it just backs up exactly what you're saying. As soon as you see a car that you want, you see it all the time. It's fucking crazy.
It's mental.
It's fucking nuts. So the reason why people say law of attraction is bullshit is because you can't sit and think your future into existence. You need to act. So logically, the actions you've taken is the input is give you the output, right? So that's why people go, oh, it's all fucking gobbledygook bullshit, right? Because the law of attraction doesn't happen unless you put in the work, right, and actually take the action. But what it does give you is a strong belief. That strong belief pushes you forward, gives you an intrinsic driver to take the action on a daily basis. And when you're talking about what you focus on is what you feel pretty much and what you create in your life. A quote that I soaked in was on a plane I took so much notes on the plane to Tenerife, it was sick. Nice. And one of the things was your personality creates your personal reality. So if you're choosing to be a negative person all the time, if you're choosing to focus on the negative things and be pessimistic, you're going to have a pessimistic, negative reality. But if you're focused on the positive, if you're trying to be the best version of yourself, help other people, inspire other people, you're probably going to have a very positive reality that's going to like be projected by your personality. Yeah. So right now, if you feel like everything's going wrong, if you feel like everything's fucking up and everything's really negative, try to look in rather than out, because we're constantly on reception, never on reflection in this modern day. It's crazy. So if you can reflect and look in to give something different out, you're going to see a different reality. But if you're constantly looking out and receiving bad shit in, you're only going to create a fucking negative reality that you live. We need a soundboard. Some fire drop there, bro. That was sick. A point I saw you made on one of your videos, because I was stalking you before this podcast, was the bigger the head, the longer the tail. And obviously it's a specific little strategic marketing strategy to like get a client in and make them last longer, etc. But I want to touch on it more on a like business to consumer basis, because although we get more money as a business owner initially, the consumer actually gets more out of what they fucking pay for, which is fucking mental. So you're both winning. So can you like elaborate a little bit on why it actually is long term more beneficial for the consumer?
Yeah. So the bigger the head, the longer the tail. Basically, is that the business would charge more up front and then have a monthly subscription after. Now, if you only had the monthly subscription, most people would just pay the 80, say it was £80, they'd pay the £80 and then they'll just test it. And because they've not got any skin in the game, they'll just probably cancel and they'll leave when it gets hard. Because usually when you sign up to something, right, it's going to be hard, right? If it's fitness, like you need to put the work in, right? Whereas if you charge a lot of money up front, doesn't need to be like crazy, but let's say it was £500, then that person has skin in the game. So because they've got skin in the game, they're going to stay for longer. And also you're going to turn people away, but that's cool because they're only going to last anyway. And it means that the people that you've got inside your coaching program, your community, whatever it is you've got, they're going to be actually decent clients as well. So you're turning away people that might just waste your time as well. They're going to pay the £80 and then just, fuck off after it. So it's actually beneficial to the consumer because they will stay longer, they'll get more benefits because they've, got that skin in the game.
So the consumer isn't just seeing the better results from having more skin in the game. They're seeing the long-term benefits of commitment through initially committing more in the start. It's quite interesting, but though, because a lot of business owners will perceive that as, it's a bigger barrier to entry, like we're going to shoo a lot of people away. But alongside all the benefits the actual consumer that buys it initially gets, you're refining your kind of like target audience to people that actually will come on and utilize what you have to offer.
Yeah.
So you're almost refining your client base in a very effective way.
Also allowing yourself to get word of mouth. Because see the people that start and then they leave after a month or 2 months, they're going to be if their friend asks them, how did you get on with such and such program? It wasn't that good. I left after 2 months. So you're really turning away people, and then those people that are in, so it's more kind of turning away the short term money and then focus on the long term money or the long term success, if you want to call it that.
That's so cool, because then the word of mouth that fucks up, because I have some clients that come to me, right, and a lot of what fixing them entails is them going away and doing exercises to re-educate and rebuild the muscles and all that kind of shit. But if they don't go away and do that and they come back second session, I'm still fucked, and I go, listen, you need to do the exercises, whatever, blah blah blah. If they don't do it, they can go away and say, oh yeah, I went to him for 3 sessions and I'm still fucked. But it's actually purely down to their lack of effort or whatever. But the perception that they're given through word of mouth is bad for me, even though I've done fuck all wrong. So you're actually negating a lot of that negative word of mouth through doing that also. Sick. It's mad though, because a lot of people, I find this with jumping on sales calls with coaching, don't know what they expected to fucking be per month, mate. I think these cunts expect to be like 20 quid a month, but they see the value in the money that they have to pay, not the value in the result they're getting. And I think, again, with us putting in daily efforts and seeing no short-term fucking gains at all, results at all, we need to see the value in the daily work for the bigger goal and the purpose that we've got. Yep. And to anyone that's watching that's considered getting a coach, or they're not getting to where they want to get to right now, it's important for you to value the result you're going to get and where you want to be, and understand that it's pretty much priceless, because the life you get to live from getting the result that you want to get, that you can't get yourself right now, but you need to invest in someone to get that, it's worth a lot more than that investment that you need to make, that you're holding on to those fucking numbers that are on a screen that you value more than the result you're going to get, which is great. To me, it's pretty crazy because of the perspective I've now got.
Yeah.
So to quickly add to focusing on the one thing, because it is, I saw a video of Alex Hormozy and he lays these 8 cups out and he has 1 cup full at the start, and he basically explains that once you start to diversify and spread your energy out, you see all these cups
very slightly filled, whereas the one cup at the start was full. And the whole point was that you see all these millionaires have their fingers dipped into all different sorts of pies, but that's after they've committed to the one thing and blown up in that one thing, and then they diversify. People diversify at the start, spread themselves out too thin, and they're like, oh, this is too hard, I'll go back to a 9-to-5 job and fucking be depressed. So it's like, it is so important to focus on the one thing until you make it in that. If that doesn't work, focus on another thing, but don't diversify too soon is obviously the main point, which is cool.
Yeah.
Do you not need something from this, Scott? So yeah, I want to ask you quickly first. How important is failure in self and business development?
So failure is the route to success, as single-handedly. You're not going to learn anything for the fucking textbooks from school. It's not going to teach you about life. It's through failing. And it's funny because school teaches you to not want to fail, because obviously you want to pass your exams, all that rubbish. But genuinely, to be successful, you need to put yourself in a position to fail. I could talk about the endless mistakes and failures that I've made along the way. And some people wouldn't really bounce back from them, if I'm being totally honest. But see the character building that it does for you. See the person that you become through that. You cannot pay for that experience, man. That is honestly what's built me. It's the successes are great, and fuck me, do you need them? Of course, right? Obviously, you want the successes to outweigh the failures, but you need to realise, man, like obviously the most revenue I've made in a month from a business is 120,000. Now, in order to, it was actually in May last year, so we've not hit that again, but that was one of the best months.
What was that? What business was that?
Consultancy.
Oh, nice.
Aye. Which was, an insane achievement for anybody. But see, in order for me to get to places I've not been before, like $1 million a month, I don't know how to get there. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So I'm going to fail again and again and again. And this is where the ego thing comes in. See the guys that are making 5-10K a month and they're hitting online, like, look how much money I'm making. Like, well done. But you realise to get to this next point, it's you're not going to be doing the same things to get you there. It's totally different things. You need to learn new skills, like hiring. Like, do you know what I mean? And actually bringing on people, nurturing them, be somebody that people want to work for. Build a culture within your company. These are new skills after the 10K a month point.
Said that the other day to you. Regarding that though, failing is fucking scary though. I mean, like, no one wants to fail, but taking on I've got a tattoo on my arm, win or learn. You need to take on the perspective that anytime you fail, there's going to be a lesson from that. So, and I made a point in the last podcast that everything in life happens is neutral. You give it a positive or negative.
Yeah.
So something happens and you've quote unquote failed, right? It's a lesson. Like, all losses turn to fucking lessons, unless you let it fuck you up. Like you said, a lot of people don't bounce back from it, but it's important to go into like being an entrepreneur, setting up your own business with the perspective of every time that I fuck up and something bad happens, you can become better from that. And just having that as a preset perspective allows you not to be fucked in the ass by the fucking losses and the fails. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, man. Spot on.
Yeah. Value-based creators versus entertainment-based creators. Yeah. What industries do you see entertainment-based creators fit better than the value-based?
Yeah, so the entertainment-based creators, I kind of like working with them more so. Don't know if I wanted to actually say that, but more so I do enjoy working with them more. Cut. But it's because of its physical products that they should go down, and they're exciting. So for example, we were talking to a creator that does kind of big in Ireland. He's got like 300,000. And he does like food reviews, everything to do with food. So like we are potentially going to be launching like his own sauce. Like that fucking excites me, man. I get excited over physical products and brands. More so the reason why they get down that route is because entertainment, you couldn't really sell an info product. To sell an info product, you need to be an expert in some sort of field. So I mean, some creators, like, they might fall into both. They might be able to entertain, but also maybe they've got some fitness content in there, so they could go down, the fitness route. But yeah, obviously I've got experience in both physical products since I've been 18, and then the last 2 years running communities and obviously coaching programs on top of that from Ecademy. That's how I'm able to actually serve both types of creators.
Would you say it's easier or harder to be a value-based or an entertainment-based creator? If there is one, to be harder or easier to
to grow in.
To actually become, or
yeah, like is it more saturated in the entertainment side of things or the value side of things, or does it not really matter? Do you just need to be really good at one thing and go for it?
So the value side of things is easier to start a community because you don't actually need that much money, but you need the expertise. So that becomes difficult. I would say that info and value-based is definitely more saturated. I don't know if that's because what my For You page shows me, to be fair, because obviously with the we see more of these people that obviously want to take value from.
Yeah.
So couldn't actually tell you the right answer, but I feel like it would be more value than entertainment. However, man, do you know what is becoming more saturated? Just people making videos online, which is good to see. But also you would rather it was just kind of you, because then, you know, it's more money on the table for you. So it makes it a bit harder.
Yeah, 100%.
So, Scott, sell me this pen.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Cool, man. So, by the way, sorry to be rude. Is it Jack?
Jack.
Right,
Yeah,
cool,
Jack.
cool. Didn't want to mess up.
That's all good.
I know. That'd be the first mistake. So, Jack, how long have you been in the market for a pen for?
To be honest, quite a while, mate. I'm looking to start journaling on a daily basis, things like that.
Why though?
So. Why? Self-reflection, development, just making sure that I'm staying on track with what I'm doing. So keeping notes of it will help that.
Cool. Why not just use the pens you've got sitting at home? Why buy my pen?
Not got any at home, bro.
Have you not? Well, you'll probably need to buy my pen then, won't you? There we go. It's £100, by the way.
Oh, fucking invoice me that for the pen, bro. I'll fucking wire it over.
So the whole kind of what I was trying to do there is you get them to sell themselves.
That's
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Create that kind of demand for it. He actually said that on the car app, didn't you? To me.
I told you how you're going to do that because I've seen the Jordan Belfort video and like how he does it and stuff. But if you can get the prospect to sell himself, you can use them selling themselves to back up why they should buy. You know what I mean? Because you're like, you've just told me that you want, you know what I mean? And then they're like, fucking.
So a good guy to watch is Jeremy Minor. So I was Jordan Belfort fan for years. There's a new guy on the scene that if you're into sales, like buy this guy's programs, man. Like spend the money. Jeremy Minor, his name is, he's came up with NEPQ. Do you know how like in sales they always talk about always be closing? Well, he calls it always be disarming. And it's more so that people don't want to be sold to anymore. Like, so you want to be disarming. And this is the way that we transitioned into this NEPQ stuff probably last year. And you just have much more better conversations with prospects rather than this closing stuff and all that. More so, like I did there, just trying to get them to, you know, give me the reasons why like you want to join. Like you tell me, and if it doesn't make sense, then
what's disarming? Is what
disarming like breaking down?
Did you say disarming?
Disarming.
I thought you said disarming. I'm like, what's disarming?
So it's like breaking down reasons why they couldn't come to you, kind of thing. Like taking any kind of reason they'd be like, nah, I don't want this. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. It's much softer, but it works much better.
It's cool because they're literally providing you with the fucking reasons as to why they need your product. It's cool. It's crazy how communication negotiation is, I feel like, the make or break in a lot of business deals. I think there's actually a statistic I saw that the most amount of money lost in business is through negotiation or some shit like that, which is fucking mental. But it does make so much sense. If you can't effectively communicate or deliver your product or service, like, how are you going to sell it, bro?
Exactly. You could have the best product in the world, but they don't know that. Now, obviously, like testimonials and stuff like that, you're going to get sales regardless if you've got that. Do you know what I mean? Because people are obviously going to believe what other people have got. But ultimately, if somebody's truly going to buy it, it's going to be based on how the salesperson actually, you know, comes across. And it's more so, it's not about the product. People don't buy the product, they buy the outcome. It's the outcome that they're looking for. And they buy based on what you need to do as a salesperson. You need to find pains that they didn't even know they had. Some people come on sales calls and they're not even problem aware. They don't even know why they're on it. Yep. It's your job to discover the pain points. You think that they're just going to magically tell you, I'm on this call because I'm suffering from X, Y, Z. They might tell you that they're suffering from X and Y, but you need to find out what Z is, and then you need to dig in deeper and actually find out, because in order to truly help someone, you need to find out, like, you know, their pains and their problems.
One thing I wanted to, a quote that you said on Colin's podcast actually was, job is the only place you get paid to learn. And that relates to a lot of people watching this that have got like 9 to 5s, and they're watching this probably because they want to have their own business or they want to be just better in general.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, getting paid to learn, that completely changes how they go to the job. So right now they're going to scrape by, do the least because they don't get fucking paid anymore for doing more, right? But how important is it to go to a job like that you can't scale, you can't really, and focus on what you can get from it? Like how can you learn in that job? Obviously, if you're on a till in Morrison's, you're speaking to like a granny, to like a dad, you're communicating so well. But if you're not going into that job with the idea of learning how to communicate better, it's just on a till wasting your fucking time in your own head. So would you like...
Yeah. So a job is the only place that you get paid to learn. Now, if it was going to be strategic about it, then I would try and pick a job that you feel like you're more of an entrepreneur, and I would try and work in more of a startup. But I actually like your point there, because no matter what job, you're still paying to learn. Like, for example, people are going to uni, they're paying all this money to learn, whereas it's the flip. You're actually getting paid to learn, and people don't really see it. They don't have that perspective. And that's kind of the attitude that I had when I was making £6 an hour in a call centre. Honestly, man, if there was videos of me back then, I've actually got a video, and it's me, and I'm standing up, the only person in the place that's standing up on the phone, everybody else is sat down. Like, I fucking love the place. And I was only getting paid, I worked out like £200 a week. I wasn't caring about the money, I was caring about this skill that I was picking up on, that I knew would lead to better things. And that was what was in my head. We would go back from work, me and that friend I was talking about, Connor, we would go back to his house, and we'd just be watching sales videos that were going to, get us better at the role. We would be role playing with each other. There was a point where, so when you start in the call centre, you start off as a biter. So a biter's like, basically, to explain it, you've got a computer, and this computer dials 40 people at the one time, and whoever picks up, you get put through to, and it's like that for 4 hours. And you get a bite, which is somebody that's interested, and then you pass them on to the confirmer, who actually, books the appointment. So I was basically getting the opportunity to become a confirmer after a few months of working there. And the manager goes, right, cool, we'll get you started on next Monday. We just want to, get you a script, and you can start to learn the script. And I was like, nah, I know the script already. I was like, I already know it. I was like, just put me on a call. Boom. And I got my, my first appointment booked like that day. And it was the reason how I like to call it PPO. It's being in the prime position for an opportunity. So how do you be in the prime position for an opportunity? Well, if you want to become a confirmer, which is what I wanted to become, see, when I was putting a confirmer onto one of my kind of bites, I would sit beside the person, and I'd just be jotting down the script, everything they say word for word. The person who was the best, that's who I would go to. Just copy them, and then you can better it. You can have your own twist on it soon. So I would just sit, copy his stuff. Usually when people got a bite, they'd be heading to the toilet, go for a fag. That's what normally people done when they got one. Whereas I'd be like sitting next to the guy, like, I need to learn this. So when the opportunity came, I was in the prime position to go and smash it, rather than, right, cool, we'll get this script sorted, and then I'd already been practicing on the way to work.
It's an important thing to highlight, though, that there was people also in that call centre that were going to scrape by and get paid minimum wage and not do any more than they had to, whereas you had more of a sense of purpose, more motivation to go to a call centre, which most people would be fucking depressed about working in, probably, because you had that perspective of, let's gain this skill. That people watching this right now, take this perspective away with you if you've watched the podcast for this long. The job you've got right now, there's skills that you can develop in the job you've got right now, nothing to do with the job that you're doing, really, but the skills you can develop will allow you to move forward and move to bigger and better things. For example, Scott's fucking done that. So it could give you a sense of purpose and a bit more motivation to go to that job and get something out of it, rather than just doing it to do it. Do you know what I mean? Which most people would do.
It could be as specific as when you're speaking to people, become aware of your tone, how you're communicating. And as you start to become aware, you can then reflect and then refine over time. And that's just where the constant improvement come. It's cool though, because you actually didn't take the kind of role that you were in almost. You were doing your job, but as you said, you didn't go for that little fucking piss break. You waited and were like, right, I know there's higher positions above me. I want to get to that. You've always had that kind of like awareness through, because what age were you when you were doing the £200 a month? £200 a week?
£200 a week. So that was, I was 17. And then I was still there when I was kind of 18, so I ran about that time. Yeah,
so less than 10 years, mate, and you've built up to, well, from £800 a month to 120k in a month, bro.
I know.
Like, it's crazy to think, if you asked your 17-year-old self, if you're going to make 120 grand a month inside 10 years, you would, what would you actually
believe that, mate?
Really?
I wouldn't even, no, honestly, mate.
See
if you told my 15-year-old self that I would go out and chap someone's door, he wouldn't fucking believe that. So like you just need to constantly give the evidence, then it just kind of builds up from there, and you start to believe.
If you were to envision 17 years old, actually someone telling you that you're going to make 120 grand in a month inside the next 10 years, what would you actually think you would say?
There's this part of me that wants to feel like I would believe it in a sense that, oh, cool, could. But honestly, man, that person I was back then, it was the more lack of confidence. I've probably been like, you're full of shit, mate. Like, it's more so the money aspect.
Yeah.
It's the money aspect. Like, that amount of money to me back then,
Bro.
like, seeing I was getting paid £200 a week, I remember having like £1,000 saved up, man, in my bank, and I'm like, fucking yes, man, here we go. This is fucking brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And that's, I would never be able to believe that. No chance.
Crazy. That's why, yeah, it's crazy, man. We could literally sit here for another 2 hours. I'm not even joking.
What's one thing, just one thing to kind of bring this to a close, one of the last things. To the person that is drinking on a weekly basis, not really on their purpose, knowing that they probably should be doing sometimes, but like isn't. That was you at some point, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to that person?
Yeah, first part is being aware. And you only change if you want to change, not because your mum and dad want you to change, not because your best friend wants you to change. You need to want to change. And the first kind of step is obviously becoming aware, but after that there's a lot of things you need to do. There's a lot. So one of them is the people that you're hanging around with, you need to shoot them a text. I'm not saying that you need to stop, because like you need to stop being friends with these people and you need to look down on them. That's not what I'm saying here. Shoot them a text and tell them that you're wanting to come off drink and drugs, if it's drugs as well, and see what their reaction is. They should not ask you to go out. See if they ask you to go out and they know that if you've explained to them that you don't want to drink anymore, I would cut them off, if I'm being honest, because you'll find that, and I'm not going to say all of them because I'm still friends with some people that I did drink with, of course, but there's a certain amount of people that just want you out there to suffer with them and they want to keep you there. And likewise, man, I probably wanted to keep a few people out with me at the weekend as well.
Did you feel justified your actions, bro?
Exactly. If I was, the good thing is I never ever done anything on my own, but at the same time, man, like a lot of people are doing that now. It's becoming pretty common. Another thing we kind of touched on it is environment. So don't turn up to the places where you could drink. So you're not going to go to parties anymore. Don't be stupid. Don't think that you won't give into that. Mm-hmm. You need to be very strong-minded. I can go to these kind of things, but see, the thing is, I don't want to go to them anymore. Yeah. I actually have no purpose. Like, I know it sounds bad, but it was like a Christmas party with like family members and that, and I'm just like, I don't even drink anymore. Like the conversations that are going to arise, it's just not for me anymore. So, and another thing that I did is I went to meetings as well. So I went to probably 10 meetings in total, but it was that commitment. Some people need more meetings than others. I think, like, I don't want to go against people that go through the 12 steps and stuff like that because it's helped so many people. I love those meetings. I love meeting people that have, managed to go through addiction. Some people are still struggling and you can help them. But I feel like the identity thing, if I continued to go to these meetings, then I would maybe still identify as that person. I think it's hard because one of the first things you do is you say, I'm Scott and I'm an addict. And that's true. I believe we're all addicts. We're all addicted to something. Yeah. Smoking, your phone, like food, some people more than others. But I'm like, I need to go here. I need to admit that I'm in a position where, I need to sort my life out. Because this is the thing. See, when I was sat in those meetings early on and for the few weeks that I did go, I never knew I was going to make it out. That's the fucking worrying thing, man. Like, it's all right me saying here, there's no way I could go back to that person, the person that I built, the identity, everything. Like, it'd be so hard to go back to being that person, just like it was so hard to fucking get to this stage. Mm-hmm. And I think you're just sitting there and you're scared that you might not make it. Because guess what? It wasn't the fucking first time that I tried to stop drinking or taking drugs. I tried multiple times. I downloaded the app, the I Am Sober app, and I got to 3 weeks and I would cave. Like, I've been there. So that's another thing, man. Don't get upset if you muck up either. It can happen. It can happen. You need to reflect on it, understand why it happened, and just learn from it. So environment, identity, people you hang around with, find other communities, man. Find new friends, honestly. Yep. In this day and age, all you need to do, for example, turned up to a new running club. I don't know anybody there. I'm going to build relationships. Nobody at that running club is going out partying.
No.
They're all somewhat, like-minded and probably better people for you to hang around with.
It's crazy. I was going to add something.
So if you're that person that's drinking, right, firstly, become aware, ask yourself the question, reflect with an honest approach, take ownership, and then you need to think about the people around you. Are they serving you? Are they dragging you down? And then consider the environment. So you wouldn't jump into a fucking bit of water full of sharks if you didn't want to get eaten by a shark. It's simple. It's not fucking hard to understand. And the fourth thing is, again, that you mentioned was surround yourself by people with the similar problems, right? Because then you can speak the problems out, you get them out your own head so they're not controlling you anymore. And I think the fifth thing you said was change your identity. So if someone comes to you, you were with your friend at a restaurant, you spoke about this on Cole's podcast, and then they said, oh, would you like a drink, sir? And you said, I don't drink. And your pal was like, oh yeah, you fucking drank last week. But what are you doing when you're counting the weeks that you've not drank for? Are you counting so you can tell people how long you've lasted before you fucking drink again? If you're changing your identity, you say, I don't drink anymore. If you're changing your identity to not smoke, I don't smoke anymore. And you change your identity by making statements like that and sticking to them rather than saying, I've been sober for 2 years. Well, if you're counting for 2 years, then you're considering going back at some point rather than saying, I'm not a drinker. Do you know what I mean? So very important in what you just said there. You can take that home as an actionable fucking step. If you're someone in that rut and you know you shouldn't be, there's 5 to 6 things that you can fucking change your life if you focus on them.
Definitely, man. And feel free to reach out as well. I've got a lot of people in my network that can help somebody that's in that position. 100%. And don't feel bad about it. Don't feel like you're less worthy or like inferior or anything like that. Like it doesn't even affect me. Like if anybody was to like judge me for my past, like I don't really care because I know the person I am. I know that I'm a nice person and stuff like that. But people can have this stigma attached to, oh, he used to take drugs, he used to drink, he had problems with that. But I mean, people can see what I'm like when they actually meet me.
It's important to have hard times in your life though, because if you don't, you've got nothing to run away from.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've got this driver towards a goal, it helps you even more that you're running away from something as well. So for example, on days where I don't feel like eating or going to the gym, I envision skinny little Kyle with no chest and fucking no legs. Do you know what I mean? So I'm running away from being that little skinny guy. So you get anything else to ask? But
one more thing just to add.
Yeah.
Scott saying that he was going to these meetings and when he was going, he didn't see a way out. He just went with a little bit of blind faith, knowing that he didn't want to be in that position anymore. But the point to take away from that is you don't need to know the way out or how you're going to get out. You just need to know the next step. As long as you know that next step, as long as even if it's something as little as changing the way you look at something or whatever, the next step is all you need to know to move in the right direction. You don't need to know how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, why you're going to do it. You just need to know the next step towards getting out of that situation, and one step at a fucking time, bro. Innit?
So the last question, Scott, again, we could ask you goals for this year. It's a little bit small, that's kind of like limiting you. But what is the goal? Where are you going?
Yeah. So I'm 26. I definitely thought I'd be much further ahead than what I am. But I'm still doing pretty well. But at the same time, like I feel like I've been in this game for ages now. I start to feel a bit older than what I probably am. But in terms of goals for this year, the new brand that I'm starting, I'm going to be doing a series on TikTok and YouTube, basically documenting the whole entire process of setting up a business. So you're going to actually see what it's like and know, the nice watches, the cars and all that kind of stuff. You're going to see that I'm actually behind a computer all day, every day, and that's pretty much it. Like even when I was in Croatia, people would be like saying to me, oh, I didn't even go out in the water once, mate. I wasn't even on a boat once. I was there for 11 months. I was in a nice pad, don't get me wrong, right? But where was I? I was like 4 fucking white walls and a computer, mate. Like that's what my life is. And the reason I don't share it is because it's fucking boring, man. Like sometimes, like I've went a few weeks without even putting it on my Instagram stories, and I'm just like,
who wants to see this?
Nobody wants like fucking. Do you know what I mean?
What's happening, guys?
What's happening? I'm just behind the laptop, fucking busy as fuck as usual.
Yep.
But yeah, I want to show people how to make 10k a month from something that is actually hard to do. It's really difficult starting a business. If you're wanting to make 10k a month a lot easier, I would maybe start remote sales. It's probably easier. If you want some fulfillment and actually launching a cool product, then that's what I'm going to be documenting. I want to get to 10k with that new project.
Cool. So the big goals that you've got is just to keep helping more people, scale your own business, build a personal brand, and overall kind of change lives.
Change lives, mate. And then the Creatr led, which is the kind of rebrand. So Ecademy, which just
what is Ecademy quickly?
So Ecademy is where we helped beginners basically start their own e-commerce brands from scratch, and we're still working with people. We've got about 30 active clients at the minute, and we're transitioning. So we've rebranded because we're going to be only working with creators going forward. So it's the same same business, same, you know, people in the company and stuff. We're just going after a different avatar.
Our audience, yeah.
And doing that, man, this is the business that I'd love to. I want to, you know, launch products with big creators. That is the plan. We're in contact with a few, but we're going to wait. I'd rather just see it when it's done. But yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So thanks a lot for your time today, bro.
Pleasure.
Fucking really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll be on this podcast together again, mate. Do you know what I mean? When we're all fucking 10x in what we're doing right now. So yeah,
easy, man.
Fucking amazing. Perfect.